Hey, welcome back to Zombie Tactics, or maybe I should rename the channel Flashlight Central lately. I've been doing a lot of flashlight reviews. Here again today I'm doing a flashlight review from Thrunite. You know, they keep sending me these things. I'm going to keep on reviewing them. I've had this light for about 7 months, 8 months right now. I'm really overdue in doing this review for Thrunite. They're getting a little antsy, I'm sure. And if you've seen my previous video on the difference between a utility or an everyday flashlight and a self-defense or a duty flashlight, you'll know that this was used as an example of almost the archetypal self-defense or duty light. And I'll go into the reasons for why that's the case. Good flashlight, by the way, if you're looking for the capsule review, and I would buy one. I'm going to buy a couple more, despite the fact that Thrunite gave me this one for free. And here's some of the things. Aluminum construction on the body, hard anodizing. The anodizing is hard enough that even though I've used this in testing, striking it up against wood and stuff like that, I'm getting very little aluminum showing through there. The anodizing is of very high quality, and the aluminum body is not dented or nicked up anywhere. So good, high-quality aircraft aluminum used here. That makes it handy because you're going to use it potentially as a striking surface to whap somebody with if they're trying to hurt you. Use it as a kubaton. Some people would prefer the sort of crenellated or scalloped edges that are popular with some brands. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. If you want to, you could always turn it around the other way, because there's sort of a, you know, the way that the rear is made here, that would provide the same effect for you. As again, I said, I don't think it's that much of a difference. The way that the body is constructed in terms of a gripping surface, both in terms of the texture and how there are various knurls and channels and stuff here, very good. Easy to hold on to whether your hands are wet or covered with oil or something else slick. Good surface for hanging onto with leather gloves or neoprene gloves on. Works very well in that respect as well. And the big feature so far as being able to operate it as a self-defense tool is the idea that you could very quickly flash this in somebody's eyes. And that's because the rear tail switch, which is the primary switch used for this, is a click-on, click-off variety. But if you partly depress it, it just stays on as long as you keep momentary contact. And by the way, it's very sure the way that you're doing this. You don't have a problem with this where, like, you're not really quite clear where it's going to click and where it isn't. You really got to mash on it to click it. You really got to mash on it to click it off. So doing that whole partial thing is not like you're going to accidentally turn the light on and then, oh, wait, I got to play with it again to turn it off. In addition to that mode of operation, which is, I say, key for operating it as a self-defense flashlight, you've got a number of different modes of operation. You have what I always call the firefly mode or the low mode. In this case, it's about 0.3 lumens or 0.3 lumens, and I'll put up the specifications for the various light levels here in modes as we go along. About 0.3 lumens, that's good for reading in the dark if you don't want to affect your night vision. You click it on up, and now you're in the 20 lumen range. That's a pretty typical flashlight range for like a household flashlight, something that's just a typical everyday flashlight. So it's good for that kind of use. You click it up from that. I forget how many lumens this is, but this is kind of the upper high range, and this is definitely 100 or so lumens, probably more, and you'll see it flash up on the screen exactly what it is. And this is suitable for just about anything you'd want to use it for, including the old, flashing it in somebody's eyes thing. Now, there is a mode above that, which is, if I click it, it goes up a little bit from that, and this is the turbo mode. And this is like 1050 lumens, and this is extreme. If you want to leave it in that mode for self-defense purposes, boom, that's good. I'm practically disorienting myself just in the reflection off of the screen of the camcorder here. So very useful for that purpose. A couple of other things about this light that you should keep in mind. There is a 2016 version of this light. This is the 2014 version that is constructed slightly differently, and that is instead of a plastic or a rubber mode switch here, you've got a stainless steel one. I should also note that if you hold down the mode switch for a number of seconds, it will go into a strobe mode, and then you hold it and it will go back. You click it again and it'll go back into the regular mode. So there is a, what would that be, a fifth mode of operation. One of the things that's interesting that I find about this is this battery is rated to operate off of a single 18650 battery. And Thrunite brands their own 18650 battery that you can purchase from them. They use the 3200 milliamp hour version of it. I'll go into that for a second. This, I believe, is manufactured for them by Panasonic. Panasonic is known as being one of the better makers of lithium-ion batteries and lithium-based battery technology. So, good stuff. I kind of checked around prices. Thrunite's really not charging any more for this battery than Panasonic is, so you might as well just buy the Thrunite for warranty purposes and ease of order, since you can get these things so easy and customer service is excellent, whether you're dealing with Thrunite directly or through Amazon Prime or something like that. In addition to the 18650 battery, we'll come back to that in a second, you can actually operate this off of two CR123As. I wouldn't do that, though, and I'll tell you why. It's because the 18650 battery is starting to become a very, very popular battery type for appliances and other things that require a high energy discharge, which lithium-ion batteries excel at for a rechargeable battery. The density of power that's contained in here is very, very good. It has a high discharge device, and it will recharge many, many, many times and keep on giving consistent good service. So I would go for the 18650 as opposed to the CR123A. Besides, you'd have to use two of those, and it's easy to deal with one product instead of two. The 18650 getting so popular means that I've seen this in places where I would not ordinarily expect to see it. I've actually seen this battery hanging up, an expensive version of it, at a local corner store at a camping area where we were at. And I realize that's because a number of appliances, batteries, battery-powered radios, flashlights, other things are starting to use these 18650 batteries a lot. If you look around, you will find that they're available in different ratings. This one's 3200 milliamp hours, as I've said. They're available up to 5000. I wouldn't necessarily use that, and here's why. These LED flashlights do get hot, and one of the things that I would be a little bit concerned about is a lithium-ion battery with a 5000 milliamp hour rating could overheat enough in a small appliance like this where it could be a heat or even a fire danger. So I would go for the 3200 milliamp hour version of it, especially since they're so ubiquitous and you can get them fairly inexpensively, again, through Amazon or Thrunite directly or whatever. A very good rechargeable battery. I barely recharge this thing ever, and I'm using it all the time. So you're going to not have to recharge this a lot, even given the kinds of figures that I showed earlier for how long the light will last under what different kinds of lighting conditions. If you use this thing in turbo mode all the time, you're going to find out you don't need to. You're probably going to click it down to the 20 lumen or the upper high level and the upper mid level and use it at that. So you'll get more use out of it. In addition to that, Thrunite makes a very, very good battery charger. I'll try and find a picture of it here because I've got one downstairs. The MCC2 charger, and it works great with this. It works great as a charger for the 18650, and it will also charge lithium-ion and nickel-cadmium batteries of other types as well. And hopefully you can see that on the picture when I fly that in here. I recommend you go ahead and get the package from Thrunite that includes both the flashlight, a couple of batteries, and the charger. That is probably the best way to buy this. If you check out similarly featured flashlights from other brands, you'll find out that you'll be spending less money for that package altogether with everything that you need than just for the flashlight alone from several other makers. And some of those other makers are using proprietary batteries, which you're going to have a hard time finding. So for that, and they're more expensive because they're single-sourced, supply and demand, economies of scale, all of that, basic economics. So the Thrunite has really made some very good decisions with this right here. Again, this is the 2014 version. You'll want to check out the 2016 version, which is slightly different, but pretty much all the same ratings and same modes of operations and stuff like that. They just consider it a little different kind of construction because of some things that people have asked them to do. So both models are still available. Check out which one works for you. Very good flashlight. I've beat the heck out of it. This is the one that I carry right now as a part of my self-defense kit. This is the one that goes with me into a crowded theater. This is the one that goes with me if I'm going to go out someplace late at night, or I'm going to be in a city that I'm unfamiliar with and I'm out at night and I need a flashlight with me. So I obviously think very highly of it if I'm carrying it myself. That's the Thrunite TN12. And that's zombie tactics for today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.